Hey, what's going on? Joe Coffey here for Premier Guitar, filling you in on some new plug-in products for those of you who love to record in the digital realm. There's some new stuff from Waves that you'll want to know about. I'm here with Waves representative Shahar. Shahar, how are you doing, man?
Good, thank you.
Tell me about this new product you guys just released.
Well, the Tony Maserati collection are application-specific plugins that will allow you to achieve something very close to Tony's starting point for sound. So there's 6 plugins. There's one for acoustic guitar, electric guitar, vocals, etc., etc. And the minute you pull them up, you should get something that's a very interesting mix.
And not to interrupt you, but for those of you who aren't hip, Tony Maserati, he's a legend. Those of us who are into the studio vibe, we know who he is.
Anybody in the mixing world knows who Tony is. I mean, Tony's done everything from Jason Mraz to Tupac to Beyonce to Biggie Small to everything. Half your favorite songs are mixed by Tony Maserati, most likely.
So tell me about how this application actually works as a plugin. There are many things involved with the settings and the dials. We just saw a demo a second ago. Could you take me through that again?
Sure, of course. Basically, typically when you're mixing, you would pull up a plugin that would have control, would have threshold, would have attack and release settings. Here you don't need to know any of that. You pull it up, and Tony's designed something for you that has EQ, compression, reverb, delays right into the plugin. You can tweak it a little bit if you need, but it should get you very close to a good sounding vocal or a good sounding bass or a good sounding kick drum. So the minute you pull these up, you should get something very close to a good sounding mix and something that similar to what Tony would most likely do.
Okay, so check this out. We have the man himself here, Tony Maserati. Tony, how you doing?
Hi, Joe.
Good to
Thanks
see
a
you.
lot. Yeah.
We're excited about this new plugin. It's kind of cool because there's a way to get your touch on different tracks by just bringing up a plugin. All the different things you use.
That's right.
So explain how this works for guitars. I know there's an electric, part of it and an acoustic part of it.
Well, the plugins were conceived to be a shortcut to my sound, and I put them together with the effects that I would use for a up-tempo guitar part, or a ballad, or a real heavy electric guitar part, with the compression that I would use in that circumstance. As I was listening to Shahar talk about how users may implement the plugins, I thought, if I was listening, I'd probably take the bass plugin, put it on the Wurlitzer, and try the drum plugin, put it on the guitar. And interestingly enough, as I was creating them, I thought exactly that. I thought, what's that going to sound like? So when we finally got them finished, I started doing that and started placing the HMX, which is the effects plugin, on just about everything, snares and everything, just to see what happens. And it's kind of funny because when you put the acoustic guitar plugin on an acoustic guitar, it sounds great. It sounds like a great acoustic guitar. It's got a nice presence to it. It's got a compelling bit of light effects to it. If you need a little bit more reverb or delay, you can add that. But then if you throw the bass plugin on there and put it in synth mode, then all of a sudden the acoustic guitar has all these weird harmonics, and you can use it in a bridge of the song underneath the acoustic guitar, and it adds this whole new harmonic set, which is fun for me. And that was the whole impetus for the project itself.
Absolutely. Get in there, start messing around, using things for other things. As far as using it for what they're, I guess we could say, designed for, I'd like to hear a demo. Maybe what we heard earlier, the acoustic plugin.
Sure.
Want to take us through that?
Absolutely.
So here it is on the screen. It's a pretty cool look, you got to admit. I mean, that's just a flashy looking visual.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, I gave the Waves fellas a few ideas, but they really came up with the whole thing. I mean, look, there's little cracks in the wood and distressed marks and things like that. I just love it. It's got a great vibe to it. What we're going to play is a Jason Mraz track called Live High that I mixed for his latest record. And we'll play the acoustic guitar dry first.
And this is the actual track, just raw.
Yeah, this is the actual track raw. You'll hear it's a really well performed guitar part, well recorded. So we're not trying to fix anything or make it, something it's not in this case. But we'll play it with a plug-in and bypass.
All our politics are too late.
It's a lot to kick in at once. It just gets real full and rich.
Yeah, exactly. So you can hear the, the dry signal sounds fine, really well played, well recorded. And then in this case, as soon as the plug-in comes in, there's a bit of a jump in energy. And that happens both in some of the tonal adjustments that we're using, the equalization, a bit of compression, sort of getting that thing to really, some of the lower finger noise to come up in the mix, which is really important to make it sound intimate. But also there's some effects that can be adjusted or taken off completely if the user desires. And in this case, it's great because it actually adds a bit of rhythmic jiggle to the sound as well. Even though it wasn't intended for this particular song, you never know. It's one of those things. So
now tell me about the electric plug-in.
The electric plug-in was a little bit harder in the sense that it needed to cover a lot more ground. We needed to be able to deal with rhythmic parts, legato notes, distortion, clean, all those kinds of things. So what I did was I basically made a list of my favorite guitar players and started conceiving the sound with them in mind. Now, trust me, it's not going to sound like Andy Summers. It's just not. I'm not that good. His sound was amazing. But there were guitar players that played a part in my youth, and as I listen to music today, so a lot of the conception for those electric guitar bits came from the guitar players that I really dig, and they should get you close. Again, it's a starting point. These plugins are a starting point. There's something that a producer or writer or a guitar player can implement on a track and get right away to a point where the track pops out, and also he can then at least hear it in the mix and decide if he wants to change the part or if he wants to change the effect. He can always add two of the plugins. He can try the electric guitar plug-in on the electric guitar and then add the acoustic or add the HMX, the effects one. And they're used, there's a bit of effects on all of them. And as I said, you can adjust that on or off.
It's really cool. I feel like I'm getting a little peek inside your brain because you're talking about how these plugins designed for certain instruments, and you're already digging on using them for other instruments, and that gives me a feel for how you roll in the studio as far as, what's possible. Well, why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? It's amazing the textures you can get. It's just inspiring to hear you talk about, let's break the rules. Let's try this. Let's try that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to. I mean, anybody who's working in a studio a lot knows that there are no rules. You just got to do your thing, and you got to find anything, any way of making a track compelling, a performance more interesting, or a section of the song, making it stand out. And that's the approach I took to creating these plugins, and I think that the users will be able to implement them in the same way. So that's what we're hoping, anyway.
Very cool, Tony. Thanks so much for your time, man.
Yeah.
Shahar, where can people go to find out more about the Tony Maserati plugin?
Waves.com. They're available now, and they're also part of Mercury.
All right, there you have it. I'm Joe Coffey. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.